now is Arizona Senator John McCain. Senator, I read the Journal editorial, and I'm against the editorial. I read the Weekly Standard today. I'm angry at them. The Tea Party didn't cause the debt crisis we have. The Democrats and Obama did. They didn't spend all this money to bring us on the brink of default, losing our credit rating. The Democrats, the president, brought us to this point. Why not attack them? Why are you attacking the Tea Party?
Well, first of all, I read, it was reading from a Wall Street Journal editorial, not exactly
well, one that was attacking the Tea Party.
No, it was basically attacking the idea that somehow if we shut down the government, that then Obama would get the blame and Republicans would triumph. I disagree. I think that the fact is that if we don't act in the Republican House, and I believe, by the way, that they will, at least I'm certainly hopeful that they will, then the ball will be in President Obama's court and Harry Reid, who has, as you pointed out, one of the most flimsy, transparent, phony spending cut things that I've ever, proposals that I've ever seen. So I wasn't attacking the Tea Partiers or anybody. What I was trying to point out, as the Wall Street Journal was, that we need to act with our own spending cuts, with our own legitimate spending cuts, and that way, then all the pressure will be on the president and the Democrats under Harry Reid.
I take a different position. I see the Republicans, literally competing against themselves, which infuriates me a little bit. This president has not put forward a plan. The Tea Party saying, wait a minute, this is why we hired you guys. And they're just saying we wanted cut, cap, and balance, a reasonable, responsible bill. And they're asking, for the Republicans to stand firm on it. So look, I found this as an attack on the Tea Party. And if you're agreeing with it and mentioning Christine O'Donnell or Sharon Angle, it sounds like an attack on the Tea Party.
No, primarily, if you read the whole editorial, it was an attack on President Obama and the way that they're trying to shift the blame onto Republicans. And that's also what I said on the floor of the Senate. The president has not come forward with a plan. That's unconscionable. That's the worst aspect of leading from behind. But that doesn't mean that Republicans are relieved of their responsibilities. Look, I've got to tell you this, Sean. There is no way that there is 67 votes in the United States Senate to pass a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. Now, I'll put my conservative fiscal record up against anyone, Tea Party, non-Tea Party, anybody's. I fought against the Bush spending proposals. I voted against my own party time after time. I'm proud of my record. That's why I was designated the taxpayer's hero. Okay, you got it. So I don't want us to see a 1995 return to. We Republicans can come up with. I'm all for the balanced budget amendment. I'd love to see it be the major issue in the 2012
here's
election.
The problem.
I voted for it 13 times. So
I know.
I
understand that.
I don't want to shut down the government. I think Boehner has a good proposal, and I think that we ought to support it. And if the Democrats and President Obama don't want to support it, then it's their problem of shutting down the government.
Wait a minute. The House Republicans voted to repeal Obamacare. They voted for the Ryan plan, which was a great start, and I think a responsible budget. They voted for cut, cap, and balance. Now, 53, every Democratic senator is against the Boehner plan. The president said he would veto the plan. The Democrats have not put forward a plan, and the one Harry Reid's talking about is phony accounting and gutting our Defense Department. So I don't like that either. Here's my problem. We have fallen into the president's trap in this way, in my opinion. He set an artificial deadline. And that catastrophe, crisis, the same rhetoric he used to pass the stimulus, same rhetoric they used to bail out banks, insurance companies, and Wall Street, same rhetoric that he used for Obamacare, and we're buying into this. And I don't think we need to go so fast. I think first we take in $200 billion a month, and I think Republicans in the House and Senate need to regroup, lock themselves in a room, support one plan, and then put it on the president's desk. And if he doesn't want it, then any default will be on his shoulders. Tell me why I'm wrong.
First of all, the reason why you're wrong is because if we don't act within a few days, then anyone, including the person who was with the Treasury Department under the Bush administration, came over today, that the markets will react, that the lack of confidence throughout the world will be reflected in very severe repercussions, not to just mention downgrades, but you saw the stock market went down nearly 200 points today. And to somehow think that we won't have to pay 40% of our bills is just wrong.
Senator,
it's just wrong.
I am not buying this.
You may agree with that. I respectfully disagree with the fact that we're going to say we're not going to pay 40% of our bills, no matter how we prioritize the money we have remaining.
Well, first of all, Social Security recipients will be paid. The veterans will be paid, the military will be paid, the interest on the debt will be paid, Medicare is paid. Here's my problem, though.
That's not true. They're not all paid. No, they're not all paid. And I'd be glad to send you the information. But then who doesn't get paid, and what government services are shut down? Sean, I saw this movie before in 1995. They're not going to pass a bill that prioritizes who gets paid. The one who will be making the decision will be the President of the United States.
Okay, if he chooses that. But I agree. It's not enough money. But here's, for example, I talked to Connie Mack and Rand Paul in the last 2 days. If we would just lock in this year's spending and then cut 1%, this is the Mack Penny plan, lock in 1% decrease every year for 6 years, and then 2 years keep it at 18% of GDP, we have a balanced budget. Does that sound unreasonable? Why we couldn't put that together in 6 days?
It doesn't sound to me like it's a lot of courage, because we have to make tough decisions. There are some programs that we should save. We should save veterans all our benefits for our veterans, in my view. You want to cut it 6% over the next 6 years? But that's fine.
But wait a minute.
But I do not believe in across-the-board cuts.
Wait a minute. His plan allows for adjustments. But if Congress, look, let me put it this way, Senator, we are going to have $25 trillion in debt that puts us on a path to becoming Greece. The country's going to burn, and opportunity's going out the window, and we're saying we can't cut 1% a year for 6 years?
What I want us to do is put the American people a balanced budget amendment. I want us to cut, and I want us to cap right now. We control 1/3 of the government, not 2/3. And I'm proud of the work that the House has done. I'm proud of the work that Speaker Boehner has done today. I'm proud of Senator McConnell's last option, which would be a committee, and which I know also, because I watch you every night, I know that you don't agree with. But it's an equal balance when we only control 1/3 of the government. But again, we have to cut spending. That's the message of the November election. But to shut down the government and take the blame for it is not something that I want to have. Look at the polling data. Look at the polling data, and you'll see.
The polling data shows 66% of Americans support cut, cap, and balance. 75% of Americans want a balanced budget amendment.
And that's fine. And 95% of us want us to come to some agreement and keep the government functioning, because they believe there are vital functions
Americans want
of the government of the United States. And they want cuts, and they want the budget balanced, and I'm committed to that. But I say to you that if we shut down the government, that now that the Boehner plan is great.
Why do you get the blame? Why would Republicans get the blame when the president he won't take the Boehner plan, he won't take cut, cap, and balance, he hasn't proposed the plan himself? Why wouldn't he not get the blame?
I think the Boehner plan is a good, viable option, and you obviously disagree.
53 senators, there's no point to even arguing it, because the president will veto it, and 53 senators sent a letter to Boehner saying no, so I guess it's dead like every other plan.
And then it will be his fault. And
it is his fault.
And the House will have acted with some courage. Republicans in the House will have acted some courage, because these are meaningful spending cuts, and they do not exceed the amount that the debt limit is going to be raised. And so,
Senator,
we'll fight hard, my friend.
I just want to make sure that we're on the same page in this regard. The president caused this problem, not the Tea Party. The president has no plan.
I totally agree.
The Tea Party supported cut, cap, and balance. I just want the responsibility. This president is not leading.
The Tea Party, I admire, respect, and appreciate, and they're the ones that gave us a majority in the House of Representatives, so we can get something done. I'm proud and appreciative of them.
You could say, Senator, if you want, that I told you so. I'll leave it up to you, though.
I told you so that the stock market and other financial markets would react if it looks like we're not going to have an agreement.
Our debt ceiling, it's inevitable. We've lost our AAA debt rating. I am certain of it. It's sad. It's unnecessary because of the president's spending. But I got to run, Senator.
I agree. And some spending before that, my friend.
And coming up, we're going to have more late-breaking developments on the